Yat Thank you for listening to this podcast. She Peter Desert III in She Tachini Nishle Kitlejini Bashishin Ashin Chedo Twohiglini Dishnala. I run this podcast, 21st Century Native Leaders. Please comment on Facebook at 21st Century Native Leaders or on Instagram, Navajo Podcaster. This episode has two sponsors.
NavajoStore.com, an online store for Navajo products. Visit NavajoStore.com and order your clan coffee mug, clan travel mug, or clan license plate. Visit NavajoStore.com. You can also find us on Facebook at NavajoStore.com.
The second sponsor is Tselani Professional Business Consulting Services, LLC, a Navajo-owned business. Contact TPBCS for business development and technical assistance if you are interested in entering, expanding, or improving your business. Contact Tselani Professional Business Consulting Services at 480-980-0211 or on Facebook, TPBCS.
Hello, listeners. Thank you for joining me on 21st Century Native Leaders. My name is Peter Desert III, and I am here with Dean Holyan. Dean is a professional rodeo cowboy. Thanks for joining us, Dean.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me about yourself, your tribal affiliation, and where you come from.
Dean Holyan, Navajo. My clans are Billigan, Nishle, Nisteji, Prestishin, Hia'ani, Desite, and Gluggy, Tsunami.
Oh, okay. And where do you come from? Where do you reside?
From Coyote Canyon, New Mexico.
Oh, nice. So I used to work out there at Chushkai. Are you?
Oh, did you?
I did, yeah, about 2005. I taught at the school up there.
Yeah.
I actually taught a Holyan. She played basketball for me.
Deja?
No. I think she graduated in 2009.
Oh, Tia?
Tia, is that your sister?
No, that's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The whole world.
Yeah.
So, tell me about how you got into competing in the rodeos.
Well, my dad and my mom and my grandpa and my whole family are rodeos, so I was just born and raised to be a cowboy, and that's all I wanted to do, which is to be like them and do rodeo.
Nice. And what events do you compete in?
I compete in tie-down roping and team roping.
Team roping. And just so you know, I had actually got a message from one of the founders of IndianSports.com saying, "Oh, you should interview." I got a list, and your name was on that list. That's why I contacted and reached out to you. So, shout out to IndianSport.com.
Yeah.
So, and how long have you been competing?
For about as long as I can remember, pretty much since I was little.
Since you were little, so you started with the junior roping, and then you just worked your way up.
Junior rodeo, and then just went up from there.
And you competed in middle school, high school, and beyond?
Yeah.
And so, talk with me about competing. Were you able to go to the high school rodeo championships?
I still am in high school.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, I still high school rodeo.
Oh, okay. Nice. So you're up and coming. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you want to? What level do you want to be competing at?
And how many years?
In 5 years.
I would love to be pro rodeoing and out there living the dream.
That's awesome. So when I messaged you on Sunday, you said that you were competing on Sunday. When do you typically compete? What days?
I normally compete Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes
Saturday or Sunday. Nice. And where has competing on the rodeo circuit taken you?
It's taken me many places. I've been Canada. I've been all over the United States pretty much.
Nice. So whenever you're competing on the high school level, um, do you still win prize money? How does that work?
Well, you really don't win that much money, but you still get like a little bit. But it's you don't win much in school, you.
Okay. So do you still get to win buckles, saddles, horse
Yeah.
trailers, and such?
They give out a buckle for the average champion for that rodeo every rodeo they have, and the year end they give out saddles.
Oh, okay. So like if you're in the top point, I guess earner, is that correct?
Yeah.
Nice. So whenever you're for practice, what do you do to practice for roping?
Well, I rope the dummy a lot, and for calf roping, I work out too, and I just try to keep my horses in shape and keep myself in shape and ready to go.
So you have to train your horses equally as you train yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. And what type of training do you do for yourself? Do you do a lot of running, weightlifting?
I actually have a cousin who is a physical therapist and told me what kind of stuff I need. So I jump rope a lot and I push up just simple stuff just to keep my body in shape and ready.
What was the best advice you're ever given about roping?
My best advice is probably whenever you do that, there's always the next one. There's always another rodeo.
Uh-huh. So whenever you're competing, how much of roping is the mental aspect?
It is 90% mental.
So then, like, whenever you get into, I'm not sure, is it called a chute or in the
Box.
in the box, right? So you get in the box. What goes through your mind before the calf is about to be released?
Well, I just focus on my start from the barrier, and that's all I'm focused on is the start. 'Cause the rest, you train so much that it's just muscle memory.
Hmm. So taking it back to muscle memory. So whenever you're roping, how many times do you just go in a typical day? How many times do you go and rope a dummy or actual calf?
Well, I normally try to rope the dummy at least 10, 20 times a day. But calves, it's probably almost every other day, and probably rope about 5.
And so then whenever you're roping calves, I mean, do you have to have your own calves in your pen, or do you go to a friend's house, or how does that work?
Well, sometimes we have calves, but fortunately I have some good friends that they let me come over and rope their calves.
Mm-hmm. And that's just practice. So then you have to take your horse over there and train with it. So tell me about the cost of a good roping horse.
Well, it's gonna cost you about 20 to 50,000 usually.
Wow. So then when it costs that much, how do you raise your own horse and then train it to be a roping horse, or do you buy it already trained?
Well, we buy it already trained, and we just kind of fix some things. And, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So it's quite an investment then, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. So again, back to the mental aspect of it. So, I mean, is there a spiritual component to roping? Do you say a prayer or anything before you go and compete, or how does that work out?
Yeah, I normally try to stay spiritually there and try to, if I'm feeling nervous, I kind of say a short prayer and it keeps me in shape.
Wow. So back to the competitions. Right before you on the day of a rodeo, what is the biggest challenge you have to overcome?
Well, it's just checking the draw, see if you drew a good calf, because you have to have a good calf to win, basically.
And how do they determine how do you determine if you have a good calf or not?
Well, sometimes you can see the calf throughout the last rodeo or the perf before you, and you can watch them and see, oh, that one's a good one. And how they determine you get one is they have all the calves have numbers on them, and they have every single calf has a number, and they put their numbers on a poker chip, and then they have like a bowl, and then they shake that bowl, and the judges pick out the chip that you have, and it has the number of the calf you have.
This episode has two sponsors.
NavajoStore.com, an online store for Navajo products. Visit NavajoStore.com and order your clan coffee mug, clan travel mug, or clan license plate. Visit NavajoStore.com. You can also find us on Facebook at NavajoStore.com.
The second sponsor is Tselani Professional Business Consulting Services, LLC, a Navajo-owned business. Contact TPBCS for business development and technical assistance if you are interested in entering, expanding, or improving your business. Contact Tselani Professional Business Consulting Services at 480-980-0211 or on Facebook, TPBCS.
So the best calf in the bowl, is it given the number one
No,
chip?
it's just a random number.
Oh, okay. And how are calves seated? How do they determine a good calf?
A good calf, normally one that's not going to outrun you, not going to kick, or it's not going to be real jumpy. It's just going to let you rope them, do your business, and get out of there.
Mm-hmm. So you watch your family and you grew up roping. What type of advice does your dad give you before you go to competitions?
He gives me a lot, and I'm very fortunate to have him. He always tells me, just do your job and have fun.
So it sounds like within just do your job and have fun. I mean, don't make it a big deal. And I guess the muscle memory and kind of takes over. Am I correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Wow. So whenever you look at rodeos and how Navajos have made a big surge on the national scene for roping, what do you think has been what's caused that? What do you think?
I think it's just in the water. No, I'm just kidding. It's just tough competition everywhere you go. At every rodeo on the Navajo Res is tough. And you could go to a local $300 rodeo and you'll still see the big guys like Derek, Aaron, Eric, all there. So I think it's just all the tough competition and having those guys there to make you look better. And I think there's more people coming up.
Oh, wow. So where do you get your strength to continue with roping?
Well, I get my strength from my family, mostly my mom, and she just keeps me in shape and keeps me mentally working.
Right. So then you have to have a lot of support from your family to do this, am I correct?
Yeah.
Wow. And do your parents drive you around to the rodeos at this point?
Yes, they do, and my sister does too.
Oh, yeah. And who do you look up to as a role model?
Well, I really look up to Eric Rogers, Fred Whitfield, and Rodeo. So
looking at, I know there's a lot of younger cowboys on the circuit. What type of advice do you have for them to get to the level you're at?
Just to keep going and keep having fun at it. If it's what they love to do, just keep doing it, and there's always the next one.
There's always the next one. I like that. So then, what do you think, guys? So whenever you get into the box, at any point during your training, do you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore?
No, no way. I back in there and I say, man, this is living right here.
Uh-huh. So how much does confidence impact your ability to rope?
Confidence is everything to me because I always say you're as good as you think you are. So,
Uh-huh. Do you have any moments where you're humbled by events that have unfolded?
yes, there's a lot of events where you you get humbled. Yeah.
Talk with me about one situation where you're like, oh my gosh, that was like you learned something from maybe a mistake.
Yeah, it's just like maybe you started to run and everything's going right, and your calf kicks or something happens, and you finish it and you don't place, but you know you made a good run, but just something happened.
Uh-huh. So do you watch videos after you rope?
Yes. Normally my mom or my sister records me, and you watch them after and you study what you did wrong.
Wow. Very, very, it sounds like roping is very technical. So whenever you look at it, do you break it down into the little bite-sized pieces? You know, the box,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
rope.
every second counts. So you try to look back to see from start to finish where you can improve and get faster.
And what area is your strength?
My strength would probably be roping. You know,
Mm-hmm. And what particular area do you focus on whenever you're practicing, when you're training?
well, I just try to make sure it's smooth and consistently smooth where I can consistently do it over and over again.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed on Instagram you have quite a following of people that look up to you. How did you build such a large following on your social media?
Well, my sister helped me a lot, and my mom helped me. I'm just posting about myself, and I guess people just want to follow me.
Mm-hmm. And whenever you're posting on there, do you just post your events or kind of what is it called, blogging with Instagram?
Yeah, I just kind of post about some stuff, I guess, like that about me.
Uh-huh. So how does it feel to be seen as a young leader? Because people look up to you, young kids look up to you, and you know your results are posted on Facebook or Instagram. And like I said, IndianSports.com said to reach out to you you should do an interview with this up and coming rodeo athlete. How does that feel?
It feels awesome. It feels like I'm doing it right, and having fun with it, and people are looking up to me. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel you're under the spotlight and you have to be careful?
Well, not really.
Whenever you take a look at everything, you know, the roping and, you know, your accomplishments you've had so far, if that was all taken away, how would you want to be remembered?
I would love to be remembered on my attitude and how I was outside the arena if it was all taken away. Just how I was outside the arena.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty powerful. So what are 3 adjectives to describe yourself?
I'd say just fun and not laid back.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
No, I don't think so.
Any upcoming events where people can meet you and watch you rope?
Yeah, I'm going to Casa Grande this weekend, this Sunday.
And that's in the Phoenix area?
Yes.
And so I have a couple other questions. So how does it go? There's a short round and then is it a long round?
No, It's a long round and a short round. So the long round, that's how many entries they get. They could have 60, 20 to more entries. So they take those six. Everyone runs a calf from the 60, and then the top 10 times come back for the short round. So it's shorter and it's a shorter go. So only there's the top 10 guys there.
So then when you do that, out of 60, they narrow it down to 10, and then the top, you get one more calf. So do you get two calves at each rodeo?
Yeah, sometimes they have longer short rounds. Sometimes it's just one round.
Wow. So talk to me. I always see signs whenever I'm cruising through the Navajo Res about jackpot roping. How does that work?
Well, it's normally a jackpot team roping, and they have a number system that ranks your level pretty much. And they have a jackpot, so you go over there and you just like normally pick one, draw three, so you pay $100 and you pick your one partner and then you draw three, and then they probably have like a two steer and a short, so it's two steers and then you short them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. When I lived out in Tohatchee, I remember seeing signs for jackpot roping, usually during the week in the evenings.
Yeah.
That's why we saw that. That's cool. So whenever you look back on your roping experience, right, what do you think has been the key to you being successful and winning?
Probably my family, just listening to them and trying to be like them.
What social media platforms do you hang out on besides Instagram?
Snapchat.
So you're an Instagrammer and a Snapchatter?
Yep.
No Facebook, huh?
No Facebook.
No Facebook, no Google Plus.
No Google Plus, just Snap and IG.
Right on. So, well, we're all set. How can people contact you if they want you to come and speak with their students at schools?
Either on Instagram or Snapchat.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's UsesDean22.
UsesDean22.
Yeah.
Do people reach out to your mom and talk with her and say, hey, can Dean come and talk with our kids?
Yeah, that's normally good.
And how would they get a hold of your mom?
Through either Instagram or Facebook.
Instagram. And how would they get a hold of your mom on Facebook? What's her?
It's Carol Holyan.
Carol Holyan. Okay. All right, man. Well, we are all set. If you could send me a picture that you want on the back of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. This episode has two sponsors.
NavajoStore.com, an online store for Navajo products. Visit NavajoStore.com and order your clan coffee mug, clan travel mug, or clan license plate. Visit NavajoStore.com. You can also find us on Facebook at NavajoStore.com.
The second sponsor is Tselani Professional Business Consulting Services, LLC, a Navajo-owned business. Contact TPBCS for business development and technical assistance if you are interested in entering, expanding, or improving your business. Contact Tselani Professional Business Consulting Services at 480-980-0211 or on Facebook, TPBCS.